You know, sometimes a football match is more than just a game. It becomes this story of high drama, of controversy, and these last-second calls that get an entire league talking. And that is exactly what happened when Real Madrid faced Rayo Vallecano. It was a match that ended not with a bang, but with a whistle that honestly is still echoing.
Okay, let's just dive right into it. This one sentence from our source, ESPN Digital, it perfectly captures the whirlwind we're about to unpack. See, this wasn't some simple victory. It was a nail-biting, and yes, highly controversial escape that could end up defining the entire season.
But to really get why the ending was such a firestorm, we've got to rewind. Because for a long time, this match was telling a completely different and much calmer story.
Early on, it was pretty much business as usual at the Bernabéu. Real Madrid, they were in total control. And a brilliant golazo, that's what they call a truly spectacular goal from Vinicius, put him ahead. For the team, for the fans, it really felt like the start of a comfortable afternoon. You could almost feel that false sense of security setting in.
Now, what's so wild about this is how it just charts the complete reversal of fortune. That early Madrid confidence, poof, gone. It just evaporated when Rayo Vallecano clawed their way back into the game and equalized, stunning the home crowd into this dead silence. All of a sudden, the sure thing was gone. The game was deadlocked at 1-1, and you could just feel the anxiety creeping into the stadium. And then came this moment. With the score tied, Rayo breaks through. It was a golden, one-on-one chance to take a shocking lead. But Thibaut Courtois, he stood like a giant and made a massive save. And let's be clear, without this stop right here, the final controversy we're about to get into, it probably never even happens. Madrid was just hanging on by a thread.
Okay, so let's jump to the end of the game, because this is where a football match turned into a full-blown drama, and the referee's decision suddenly took center stage.
9. The fourth official holds up the board, and the number on it is a 9. 9 minutes of stoppage time. In football, that is an eternity. It's such an unusually high number that it immediately had eyebrows and questions being raised all around the stadium.
And that's the question our source material asks directly. Why 9 minutes? The match hadn't seen any major delays, just the standard breaks for substitutions. The reason wasn't clear at all, and that uncertainty just added more fuel to this growing fire of tension. So just as this massive chunk of stoppage time began, the pressure on Rayo went from intense to, well, almost unbearable. Pathé Ciss gets sent off for a harsh tackle, leaving his exhausted team to defend with only 10 men for those final, grueling minutes. The stage was absolutely set for a chaotic finish. So it all comes down to this sequence of events in the 98th minute. Brahim Díaz darts into the penalty box. Rayo's defender Mendy slides in for the challenge. Brahim hits the ground, and the referee, without a moment's hesitation, points to the penalty spot. Just a moment of pure chaos, followed by a tense VAR check that, in the end, confirmed the call on the field. And this right here, this is the heart of the debate. Did Mendy actually touch Brahim? The replay is contentious, to say the least. People are arguing over it frame by frame. But according to the source, the official justification wasn't even about contact. The action itself, the challenge, was deemed imprudent by the officials. For Rayo, after fighting so hard for so long, what a heartbreaking way to concede a penalty. So, in the aftermath of a defeat this painful, the source article tries to answer the question, who was responsible? It actually points the finger at a few key players, effectively naming the villains of the day for Rayo Vallecano.
So how did Rayo let this slip through their fingers? Well, the source points to a trio of critical errors. First, you've got Andrei, for squandering that golden one-on-one chance against Courtois that could have won them the game. Then, there's Pathé Ciss, whose red card left his team completely exposed at the worst possible moment. And finally, Mendy, for that challenge that gave Real Madrid the ultimate opportunity to win it all.
So after all that, with Real Madrid snatching this last-gasp victory, there has to be a hero, right? Somebody who rose above all the chaos to save the day for the home side. But here's the twist. When looking for Real Madrid's hero, the source article offers a blunt, almost brutal assessment: empty box. The feeling was that the team's overall performance was so flat, so disappointing, that no single player really deserved that title.
Which brings us to this paradox of Kylian Mbappe. By all accounts, he had a quiet, frustrating game. He even missed what the source calls an incredible chance at an open goal earlier on. So no, he wasn't the hero of the match. But, and this is what separates the great players, when that single, most decisive moment arrived,
With the weight of the entire title race on his shoulders, he stepped up and calmly slotted home the penalty to win it.
Okay, now let's zoom out, because this dramatic, contentious 2-1 win wasn't just about 3 points on one night. It sends these huge shockwaves through the tight, unforgiving race for the La Liga title.
And this just brilliantly illustrates the stakes. Before this match, that gap was wider. With this victory, Real Madrid closes in on their eternal rivals, Barcelona, to just a single razor-thin point. Just look at how tight that is at the top.
So the crucial point is this. In a title race this close, every single point is magnified. A draw here would have felt like a crushing defeat for Madrid. This victory, however ugly or controversial it was, keeps them right in the hunt and could be one of those results they look back on as being absolutely season-defining. Which leaves us with the final question, really. Was this a display of a champion's grit, a crucial victory snatched at the death, or was it a controversial escape, a win that will forever have an asterisk next to it? The points are in the bag for Real Madrid, but the verdict, well, that's still out.